afternoon. I am excited to be joined today by attorney John Greco, and he is one of our Cobb County candidates running for Superior Court judge position. And so we're going to talk to him, get introduced to him, and find out about his experience. Thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you, Tracy. I welcome the opportunity to speak with you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time today. So tell me a little bit about what the Superior Court judge does and why that is an important position that Cobb County voters should pay attention to and care about.
Well, it's often said, Tracy, that the judges for the Cobb County and or all Superior Court positions in the state of Georgia are the most powerful people in the state. Their position, granted by the legislature, gives them the authority over criminal cases and where you're dealing with person's liberty. And, they sentence people and, obviously deal with people that come through their courtroom in criminal matters in that fashion, as well as civil matters where they're dealing with domestic relations. So they have a role in playing with the disposition of people's lives, also their families, intertwined with kids, intertwined with other social issues that come before the court, and you have the authority to deal with those issues and to punish and or make decisions regarding those things, which definitely affect people's lives. So the position and the power that comes with it is, what is part of a Superior Court judge.
Okay, thank you. Good explanation. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience.
Well, I graduated from Emory University with a Doctor of Law in 1984. I grew up in West Virginia. I went to school at West Virginia University and came down here to Emory to go to law school. Starting in 1984, pretty much opened up my own practice. I've been a sole practitioner for approximately 36 years. I've handled domestic relations, personal injury, some other civil things during the early portions of my career. Ultimately, later on, I pretty much went exclusively to criminal law and criminal defense in that form or fashion. I'm a courtroom lawyer. I've been in the courtroom since day one. I'm a business manager, and then I've developed my practice from year one up through year 36 as a sole practitioner, and never had to rely on anybody but myself. And I think I've turned my practice into one of the most respected practices in Cobb County.
Wonderful. So can you share with me an important experience or lesson from your life that really has had an impact on who you are today?
I would think that back in college, when I decided that I would move toward the legal profession as my career, that I really would say that I wasn't the greatest student at West Virginia University. But once I made my mind up that I wanted to go to law school, and once I got into law school, I think the biggest thing that I learned is that if you want something bad enough and apply yourself, you can go ahead and obtain those goals and aspirations. And that's what I did. Is I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, and I buckled down and said, it's not going to stop. That's where I'm going to go, and that's what I'm going to get to. And I worked hard at it, and I continue to have that hard working work ethic, and it's paid off for me in the long run.
Good. That's a good lesson for everybody. So talking a little bit about the job you're applying for, Superior Court Judge in Cobb County. Given that you've got a real broad experience in between civil and criminal litigation, how do you think the role of a Superior Court judge should or should not be different between civil proceedings and criminal proceedings?
Well, in the application of a judge, you are essentially the referee in a situation where you are following the rules of evidence, whether it's a criminal case or a civil case, and the rulings that you make, definitely need to be in conformance with those rules of evidence, things of that nature. I think in the criminal aspect, the superior court judge, I would think, serves more as, I guess, the buck stops here, because you ultimately have to make certain decisions in criminal cases which would affect the person's liberty, the punishment, the rehabilitation, and those type things. In my mind, being sitting on the bench as a judge in a civil matter, can you be more of a mediator in the sense? Because what you're dealing with is trying to solve a problem that it comes between two people or groups or things of that nature, which may involve, money, may involve custody, may involve, business disputes, things of that nature. Whereas you're trying to reach a resolution that hopefully is correct under the law, but, assisting the parties that are in the litigation. And I think that civil law would be a little bit different in those aspects from a judge's perspective than criminal law may be. But bottom line is you still have to follow the law and do what the law says, because, the legislature makes the laws, the judges apply it, and only in certain cases, in certain things, do they give us, unlimited discretion.
That brings me to my next question for you. So, judges basically apply and interpret the laws that the legislature sets. And sometimes the legislature makes very specific laws about what the outcomes should be. And sometimes they leave it a little bit more open-ended for judges to apply discretion. And what do you think about which way that should go? Should the greater discretion lie with the judges, or should there be more of a top-down, more uniform application of the law for judges to follow?
In my opinion, I think the judges need to have more discretion than the legislature, because the judges are the ones that go into the courtroom and are sitting there listening to the real life problems and issues that people bring to you. The legislature can sit there all day long and make up this law and that law and say this is what should happen or not happen, but they don't sit there and weigh the people that come in to their court, to a courtroom, what they have said, what caused their situation, the person's background. It is just a blanket statement which doesn't take into consideration all the evidence a judge may hear in court. So I think that there needs to be great discretion in the Superior Court judge, because you're the voice of the people. The people have elected you to make those decisions, for them, maybe or against them, but, they elect you to have that discretion and do what they believe, why they elected you, because you will do the right thing in regards to a disposition of their matter.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to share, or any other comments you want to make?
Well, I will share to the bar, members of the bar, members of the public, that my experience is unmatched. I've been in practice for 36 years. I've been and represented clients in over 55 counties in the state of Georgia. I've been before hundreds and hundreds of judges. I know what happens in the courtroom. I've seen the way they act, their demeanor, their temperaments. I have been in every situation in the state you can. I've handled appellate matters. I've handled trial matters. I've handled simple hearings. Unfortunately, I've had people get very, very harsh sentences when convicted, but I've done nothing but try to uphold the rights of citizens, that I've represented, do the very best I can, and I think that I can carry that over to public service. The fact that I've represented over 6,000 people in my career basically really makes me the people's choice, and that's what I would be serving as Cobb Superior Court judge, is the people's judge.
Thank you, John Greco, for your time today and for your commitment to justice and for taking on or applying to take on the mantle of public service. And I hope that everybody in Cobb County will pay attention and come out and educate themselves on who's running for judge and make the decision that they think is best for them and for Cobb County. I've got one kind of final question before we go, and it's the most important one.
Okay.
Tell us what is your favorite candy bar and why?
I was hoping you were going to ask me that, Tracy. I'm going to tell you that a Mallow Cup is one of my favorites. And the Mallow Cup is very hard to find in most stores these days, but you can find it at that candy shop on the square. And it is a twinge of coconut with marshmallow inside, similar to a Reese's Cup, and they're especially good frozen.
Excellent. Well, listen, wish you all the best. Appreciate your time today, and hope to see you soon.
Okay, well, thank you, Tracy,
All
for
right.
the opportunity.